Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Slapshot podcast, episode 2, with our revamped team of podcast members. We got Coach Desired, Reap Emir. He's not on the line today, but he may be later. We also got Yakoni. So, exciting episode. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. Stay tuned. We got an exciting one for you. All right, I'd like to welcome Coach Desired. Say hi to
Hey
the
guys,
crowd.
Coach Desired here.
And I'd also like to welcome Yakoni. Say hi to the crowd.
Hello.
Alright, so topic of discussion today is the fall of Syracuse. 2-1-2 in their last 5. Really, things have not been looking that good for them. Coach Desired, would you like to go first?
Well, yeah, judging by I've watched most of the Syracuse games, they're starting to get a little bit more inactive. I've watched most. Only 5 are starting to show up at the games, or more. I believe Syracuse definitely has to step it up if they want to become first seed again, taken over by Utica. And that's really all. Back to you, Cody.
Okay, so in the last game, I didn't join to the last 2 minutes of the second period. It was a 3-1 lead by Chicago. Then we count 4-3. They made a comeback, tied the game. Then again, Chicago takes the lead by Pyro G at goal. Then this happened all of a sudden. There was a Syracuse enters the penalty kill, yet they put Libra on while Reaper Amir is on the box. Yet they score. Then it was a controversial play that it was illegal to put two coaches on. Yet one was in box. So we took like 10 minutes to discuss this, yet it was called a good goal. And all started with a 4-4 tie game because game ended 5-4, yet no, it ended like that.
You know, yeah, and the thing is about this is that I don't like that they called this a tie. I honestly think that Chicago won this game. I really do.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Like, I joined in. Reap wanted me to join in, and I mean, it was just kind of a weird call by the board, but I mean, it is their choice. It just seems a little weird. I mean, they earned the point, and both teams earned a point, so I guess that will help them out to an extent, but still, just disappointing, really, to go and see things turn out that way. All right, I'd like to talk about the 3 hottest teams in MPGHL right now: Utica, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and Manitoba. So we'll start with the top team, Utica. And I mean, just wow. Coach Desired, your team has just been dominant. I mean, they have completely taken over this league by storm. It's insane.
Go ahead and let me take over this. I'm on the team. Utica, I'd say their defense, oh my god. Out of all the seasons, 5 seasons I've been in this league, Utica has the best defensive team I have ever seen. Their defensive core is just amazing. And if you even get past their offense or in their defense, you have a good goalie, Patrick Roy _33 to get by. Basically the best goalie in MPGHL right now. Can't really beat him. He's only let in a total of 16 goals, which is actually me. Funny enough. That's really all.
Okay, so right now with Utica, the team is very much a well-performed team. They have pretty good coaches, 7 BPS, 8 seal, and I don't know who is the other. Yet Coach Desire, I think he's the player captain. So
Yes, I am.
right now, Utica has a pretty solid defense. The second best I ever seen in all seasons in Player Goal Hockey League Minors. They have Boyle, they have Royer, they have pretty much good players that can score, that can defend, and they have a pretty good goal.
I mean, the team leads in basically every single category, whether that's wins, losses, overtime losses, points, goals forced with 71. No, they don't. They don't lead. Manitoba does by 3, barely. But Utica only has 16 goals allowed. And the only team that competes with them is, I believe, Hartford, who has 22 goals allowed. So it's really just an amazing squad. I mean, honestly, they're just insane how well they are. And you know, this kind of I want to lead into something here, and while we're talking about surprises and major accomplishments, let's talk about Wilkes-Barre Scranton for a minute, which is my team.
Oh, you.
Okay, so think about this. You have a team who has some pretty awful draft picks, and you're thinking these guys are going to be near the bottom of the barrel. They're going to be terrible. And they somehow come out on top in 10 games and only have 4 losses, and now 20 points, and are competing for first place with Utica. It's just insane. And nobody would ever think that this would happen. I mean, like Coach Desired, what is your opinion on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton squad?
Well, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'd say Wilkes-Barre Scranton is it's a very hard team to look at. They're in a weird situation right now. And as you said in the power rankings, they have no first line power players, but they have a lot of second and third line power players. And that's what just makes them a good team, and that's why they're in this weird situation. But other than that, I think they are for sure one of the biggest threats to Utica. And from my perspective, as being the captain of Utica, I'm really worried about Wilkes-Barre Scranton.
I mean, yeah, the Penguins, Wilkes-Barre Scranton, I'll let you talk in a minute, Yak. But it's just like my team, which, the Penguins, they are the biggest surprise in MPGHL. They really are, because nobody would have thought that this team, with only maybe 1 or 2 really good players, could be a top 3 seed and a possible cup contender. And that's just the thing, and it's hard to imagine, really. I wasn't even expecting my team to do that well. But, I mean, that's life, I guess. Sometimes things are just unsurprising. That's what makes it a great sport. Yak, what's your thought on the WBS squad?
Okay, so right now I don't know any players of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. I don't ever see them play. I have been on their games. They have won games, but I have only seen 2 games. They're a pretty solid team. They have 2 second, third liners. They can score. They can defend, but right now they're going against the Comets, which will be a pretty good game, interesting game, and I don't know who will be the winner in that game.
I really think that this is going to be the biggest game of the season for both teams, because honestly, if Wilkes-Barre Scranton wins 2 games today, they will be top of the league, which is insane to think, but you never know. It's going to be a close one. It really is.
I would like to talk about something real quick. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton game at Utica game. I don't believe a lot of the players will be there. I know for a fact I won't be there. So, Jordan, does give your team a chance. So that's going to be a game you all will want to watch.
I mean, yeah, and I'm trying to hype my team up. It's going to be a very close game, and actually, I'd like to go and do some predictions for that game. So, from what you just said, Utica is going to have a lot of players showing up, right?
No, I believe I know I won't be showing up.
Well, I know Brown Punjabi is going to be showing up, so I think that the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are going to come out on top in regulation 4-3.
Okay. We'll see about that. I hope my team does good for me, but that's off topic. So let's go ahead and give it back to you, or if you want to give it back to me.
All right. Let's just have Yakoni give a possible prediction for that game.
All right.
Yak.
All right. So you said many players of the Comets won't come to the game, right, Desire?
Yes, I did.
And every player of the Penguins will come. Am I correct? Or
pretty much everyone, I'm pretty sure, or at least we'll have probably at least 6 or 7 players.
I cannot give a prediction right here, but I can say Utica will win the game, maybe by 1 or 2 goals. I can say that.
It will be a close game. Most likely in overtime, possibly a shootout. That's what we went into. When we played Syracuse, when Utica played Syracuse, we went into a OT, and then we went to a shootout, 1-1 final, and the shootout 2-1. So yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be similar to that game.
Well, Wilkes-Barre Scranton has the best shootout record in the league, so we'll have to go and see what happens from there. I want to talk about another shocking team, the Manitoba Moose. Now, they sort of had a really rough start to their season. I mean, really rough. They were not looking good. They were near the bottom of the league. And then they just sort of had this moment of glory, and they've kind of been riding off the momentum of it and are now a top 4 team. I mean, they're 5-0-0 in their last 5. It's crazy. I mean, this team really has fixed themselves up. You want to go and say something about that, Coach Zard?
Yes, I would actually like to. Manitoba actually could be one of our biggest threats besides Wilkes-Barre Scranton. From the perspective that I'm in, being the captain of Utica, I'm saying something. If Manitoba keeps doing what they're doing, they are going to take over because right now they're running way smoother than Utica has ever been running, and it's only halfway into the season. It's anyone's first seed is anyone's as of now. So I'm gonna hope Manitoba keeps doing better and just keeps pushing through to that first seed.
Yeah, I mean, like, Manitoba has just been really dominant. They have 18 points, so they're only about a game behind Wilkes-Barre Scranton. They're just such a good team. I mean, it's crazy, really, to think. But, I mean, a team that I think I could compare them to an extent, is Hartford. But it's sort of the reverse thing, because Hartford had an excellent start, fell on their face, and then they picked themselves back up and started winning games again. They're now they are also 5-0-0 in their last 5. I mean, it's a close standings. I mean, they're only 2 points behind Wilkes-Barre, and I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how these teams play. Do you want to go and say something about that, Yakoni?
All right, so I don't have many things to tell about Manitoba. I know it's a great team. I don't know when they play my team, the Chicago Wolves. I wasn't there, so and end up like a forfeit since most of my players had Hockey Hardcore League games. So I don't know what to say this, but Manitoba and Hartford have almost the same strength. They can be very hard to play. They have very good players. I mean, they have Honorized, they have Heights Bob, Hikentaro, and pretty much other players that can be very dangerous.
I mean, these are just the top teams in the league. I mean, I think the only team that has sort of started to do well, then sort of just collapsed, was Iowa. Iowa has a really good squad. They really do. But they just sort of went inactive after they lost a couple games in a row. They're right now 2-3-0 in their last 5, which is not the best, but I mean, Iowa's a pretty good team. When you look at them on the outside, they're a pretty good team.
Oh.
Yeah, Coach. No, I was gonna take it to you.
All right. Either way, before I move to MHCL, I just want to say one thing about the Iowa. I was about to say that same thing. They have, just like the Wilkes-Barre Scranton, they have absolutely no first-line players. They have King Jeff and Dreamlines and a couple of other players that are all second and major third liners, but still they are a great squad overall, and if they keep doing what they're doing, they could possibly push themselves into top 3.
I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see really what happens there. Okay, we'll move on to MHCL now. We got some interesting things, I guess, here. You have the Hershey Bears, who is clinched a playoff spot, as far as we know. You have the Ontario Reign, the Ice Caps, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, the Laval Rockets, the Milwaukee Admirals, and the Toronto Marlies. All these teams are dominant squads, and they're all in the playoffs. There's only one spot left. Who's going to take that spot? Who do you think will take it? Will it be, Lake Erie? Will it be Portland? Or will it be the Flames? Or the Heat, the Stockton Heat?
Being the captain of, well, not the captain, one of the players on Hershey, I can definitely capitalize on this, recap this. I believe Ontario gave us the lead due to Lightning Z. If you don't know, a couple of days ago, he was found as an alt, as toxic when element. So yeah, that resulting in 2 FFTs for Ontario because Lightning Z is on Ontario. So now they have rolled back into third, and Hershey coming up to first, and St. John or Springfield coming up to second. So yeah, really controversial calls by the board there. Thanks to that, Hershey's now in first, and that's really all for Hershey.
Like, really, these teams have just been crazy good. I think if I were to make an MHCL Cup winning prediction, I'd say that the Hershey Bears will win the MHCL Cup. Yaconi, what's your opinion on all these dominant teams in MHCL?
All right, so receivers have a great squad. They have, like I said, some Utica players. They have Boy, they have Royer. I mean, Hershey can win the game. Same for Ontario. Can win the cup. Same for Ontario. Same for the Ice Caps. Every team has a chance to win it. Of course, if they actually try and play. I mean, I don't make any prediction on the cup since I want to see every team play on the playoffs, and I can make my predictions. Like, I mean, Level Rockets, my team has pretty stacked players. If they play for real, if they try to play, they can be a very powerful team. They are not good. They're not good on the power play, but they are good pretty much defensively. They have X and Jeff, a pretty good playmaker. It's Sharky, a pretty good goal scorer, and they can make some surprise on the playoffs. Yet Hershey has Dino Booms, Boyle, they have a very comfortable defense, very good offense. So, in my opinion, Hershey will make finals. Yet I don't know who will be the second finalist.
Yeah, in MHCL, I gotta just say this now. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms were terrible. At the start of the season, terrible. Awful team. And they turned things around. And it's great to have seen them turn things around because now they are a possible cup contender. They have 60 goals forced, 36 goals allowed, so they actually have one of the best defensive teams in the league. You can't count San Jose because they forfeited a lot of their games. But still, it's crazy, really, to think about it. Coach Desired really just... What happened to Lehigh Valley? Why did they get so good?
Well, like, I'm not sure who the coach is. I believe it's Shadow Power Troll 4 or Zonius, as a lot of people know him. But the Lehigh Phantoms, not label, Lehigh Phantoms have been, as you said, one of the most dominant teams in the league, and it's came back from an extreme drought of forfeits, losses, and yeah, a lot of bad things. But the captain or coach, I'm just gonna say Shadow Power Troll, has made some trades, and what happened to this team is basically they got a lot of signings, they got a lot of good trades, ended up getting a lot of HHCL players, and this is why they're coming into that 4th spot. I really do think Shadow has done a very good job, or whatever the coach is, with getting this team back into shape, and the 4th spot, or 5th, if I am correct.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just dominant team and really turned it around. It's great to see them have done that. Let's go and take it to you, Yaconi. What happened to this Lehigh Valley squad?
I mean, they have pretty good players. They have members, Nova XY, Hensies. Well, right now, Avocado 5 was team out, if I'm correct. They started good, but sadly, they became inactive in F15 some games. Some players came, not all of them. They are pretty much 3v2 some games. Sometimes they lose, sometimes they win. It's win or lose for them. So pretty much they were going to be in my opinion, at the start of the season, my opinion was they were going to be a cup contender, but through the season, I don't think it was the same like before.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll have to go and see when the playoffs happened. I want to just talk about drama. I guess the drama, if you will. Dr. Doom, Suarez. That was probably one of the most insane, crazy, incidents in HHCL history. If I'll be honest, because I'm looking at HHCL and over 30 players were suspended because of
26.
26.
Alting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were trying to help out Suaves. Because he got 3-season banned from minors. I don't know about HHCL.
2
2
seasons.
seasons.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
I mean, it was insane. It caught everyone off guard. I'm thinking, what happened to Doctor Doom? And then everyone says, oh, he has like 20 ults. It's crazy, really, to think about it. It's genuinely insane that he created all those alts. And I mean, I have a ton of respect for him, though. I really do. He was an amazing board member. He just made that terrible mistake, and he got busted for it. It's rough for him, but what are your guys' opinions on it?
Well, yeah, regarding that factor, Doctor Doom, that was a terrible mistake by Doctor Doom. Lesson learned, kids. Never all, bad things happen. Usually season bans or something.
Um,
But yeah, that's gonna look terrible on his resume, and I really agree with you there, Deranged. The amount of alts he had, just terrible, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got banned from multiple leagues.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing is that with this, it kind of, you have to give the board a ton of credit because they did some major investigating. I believe that it was 7 VPS and JX and Minos or
And
whatever it is,
as well as syndicated.
as well as Syndicated, who really thoroughly investigated and came to a proper conclusion. So I give them a ton of credit. It just sucks to see that Dr. Doom would actually do that. Nevertheless, he will face his punishment. He probably won't return. I doubt it. Yakoni, what's your really like your thoughts on this whole Doctor Doom ban?
I mean, I didn't check the Doctor Doom profile time ago. Since if I have checked this before, I will expose him pretty much before all this, before he became a board member. Since his prep username second lax. Since he was one of my former teammates that was deemed out as being Saturday. Yet I was caught out of warrant when I knew about he was Stalbes and now Sotheby's. Yet I tried to contact Sotheby. What happened? Yet all the board have all the proofs. Sotheby gave the account to Stalbes and all that stuff. And I didn't know pretty much what to react after all this. It was a very crappy moment. I have to analyze everything, and pretty much.
I mean, yeah, it just was shocking, really, for everyone, and I think that was kind of a depressing moment to say. Not the greatest moment for, minors and HHCL, but sometimes things happen, and you just have to live with it. Let's move on to HHCL right now. Let's do some roster moves here. Since the HHCL season is coming to a close, there's been some major roster moves. Now, I'll just talk about the ones that have been announced today. Arizona gives Eichel to Vegas for 7 VPS. Who won that trade?
I'd say overall, that's a really hard. 7 VPS, one of my close friends, and Eichel, one of my close friends. I'd say Arizona won that trade. Overall, I think 7 DPS is better.
Yeah, I'm also pretty sure that Vegas is eliminated or something like that. I don't know if they are yet. But, I mean, there's really not much else to do with that. Big trade. Anaheim gives Fluffy Express, Elmok, Goon V12, and Risk 88 to Vancouver for Nitronic, Nexonus, and Limited U Hacks. Who won that trade?
Okay, I'll let you have it.
Alright, so this is pretty much an even trade. Fluffy Express, Alma, Goon B12, and Risk 88 are good players, but Nitronic, Nexonus, Limited U Hacks. I was teammate with Nitronic, and I versus Nexonus one time last season when I was in San Jose, and pretty much they pretty stack a pretty amazing team. I mean, I will say this trade is even, I can say I don't know who won this trade since it's pretty much even. So pretty much like that.
Yeah, I mean, these things are just. It's complicated, really, when you have these two teams giving away so many players. And yeah, you are right. It pretty much is even. It really is. And HHCL is a league that has been struggling to an extent. Bombs hasn't really been doing much about it since he's all focused in his baseball. I mean, I don't think that the league is screwed, but I think the league is starting to die. And I kind of want to just move into another topic here. And goes around the whole league in general. I'm going to show some screenshots on the screen, unless you also have seen the memes I've been posting, of people being a tad bit, what's the word, toxic, if you will. In MHCL, in MPGHL, there are players who get easily offended when somebody says something negative about them or their team. And the instance I'm going to be showing on the screen, and I don't know if you guys have seen the video, is Patrick Kane. PATRIQ_Kane. And I'm using him as an example because he sort of randomly attacked me out of nowhere. It was started off with calling me a pussy, and then saying I'm gonna hack your ass. You fucking rainbow pride looking ass, gay ass. And so I'm thinking, this is a person
who said that again?
Patrick Kane. I'll be posting some screenshots, and I said, like, he said pussy talking about my friend's team, and he said what team, and he said the San Diego Gulls. The San Diego Gulls. Everybody, did you know that the San Diego Gulls are I guess a great team, supposedly. And I guess that, they were just rebuilding, even though they're eliminated from the playoffs. You see, this is the thing, is we have these toxic players, and that's what's destroying these leagues. We need to, listen, right? People can be toxic, it's whatever, it's a free country, whatever you want to say. But this is just messed up. People need to just actually, wake up, smell the roses, and say, I'm not going to be toxic today. Because it gets so annoying seeing all these kids, I'm sure they're kids, calling people doo-doo heads, as I'm going to show in the, I'll be showing on the screen too, which is something that Nico said, which I know, I'm sure he's watching this. It's just, why do people do this? Like, really, why is this a thing? Why do people have to be saying these things? I just want to go to you, Coach Desire, what your opinion is on these toxic little assholes in these leagues.
On the HCL topic, I don't know a lot about that, but I can tell you one thing. I do know a lot about toxic kids. Well, I had to go after this for a brief second. But let me just tell you one thing about toxic kids. I've had a lot of experience with toxic kids. Like, I don't want to point names, so I'm not gonna say that. Really, they do destroy leagues, I can tell you that. They also annoy play people. I do believe they can be little kids. I'm not saying they can be adults, but overall, they do destroy leagues, and they're just annoying overall.
And that's the thing, is that, like, I'm sure that they're pretty much kids. I think Coach Desire just took a break. But that's the thing, is that they are little kids. A good portion of them, and that's the thing, is these leagues are made up of younger children, and it makes it kind of hard for the people who really are dedicated and do their best to make the league run and function and make sure people have fun. It makes it hard for them to enjoy it. It really does. And, I don't mean to get, like, whatever, weepy, emotional thing, but it's just, like, this league has been in a really tough spot at minors and HHCL because Bombs has neglected it to an extent. Things just are not looking ship-shape, and they're not going to continue to look that way if we have these little kids driving people away. I want to go to you, Yaconi, because I want to go and hear your thoughts on these toxic kids.
I've been playing Roblox since 2007, pretty much a long time, 11 years. And since 2015, 2016, I saw that toxic kids, pretty much toxic players. They trash talkers, pretty much. Because one mistake you make, they insult you hard, they insult you, they hit your morale, and it's pretty much sad about it. Pretty much most of them are between the 10 and 14 years old, and it's pretty much sad since I was control myself and tell them it's just a game, bud. So and I don't care, and pretty much that's all. I don't have anything to say to trash talkers like these guys. So that's all.
Like, I'm just gonna be honest here. I think that I really do think that these kids, 10 to 14-year-olds are. I mean, not all of them. There are some good ones. There are good ones. I'm 14 pretty much at this point. I'm gonna be turning 15 soon. But I mean, they use these 12-year-old insults, and they can be effective. They can be. Other times, it's just good to make fun of them for even trying to use those insults. But I think that it's starting to drive people away because they're saying, I don't want to be playing with, these kids that are acting like, 2-year-olds with these playground insults. It's just, if you're going to actually try and insult someone, then do it in a more fashionable way, I guess. Don't say your mom or you're fat or you're gay, or don't say that stuff, because that's just playground stuff. You guys don't sound, crazy or mature. You guys sound like little kids, and it doesn't make you look good. If you're gonna insult someone, insult them properly, because I'm all for chirping in this league. I'm all for it. I even make YouTube videos on this channel. I post them here of me, in its own way, chirping these players, teasing them for the way that they're acting. And I kind of want to finish the podcast off with that, because if you're a toxic 12-year-old or 10 to 14-year-old, and you are listening to this, please come up with better insults. I'm Deranged Catman. I was joined by Yakoni and Coach Desired. You've been listening to the Slapshot podcast, coming probably later this evening. Night, everyone.
Right.